Good afternoon, Yomi. How you doing? You well?
Good afternoon, Joe. How you doing, man? You
I'm,
well? I'm all
I'm
right. I'm all
blessed.
right.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed always, in always. Good to talk to you, man. We've got the world premiere of And Breathe coming
Yeah,
up at the Almeida Theatre, a theatrical adaptation of poems from your upcoming collection. A collection coming next year. It's a long time before your collection comes. We'll
it's
get
the,
into that in a minute, but
yeah.
you must be excited about what's coming up at the Almeida.
I am. The thoughts of just having whether close friends or family attending to watch this play. It means a lot to me because some, for the most part, were really with me at that point in time where everything happened. So I think it's going to be a bit surreal to see how that is on stage. And it's always funny when like friends are with writers, like, because they never know if they're going to make it in any of their work or whatever it was that. So I'm even thinking whether they're thinking, oh my god, is he going to write about me in some way, shape it in there somehow? But chances are it's that, and I think it's that in regards to this piece, it's personal enough, and every account of what was happening in some way, shape, or form, if he was close to me at that time, then probably that might be the case, but not in a negative way, just in a way of me coping. Do you see what I mean? So, and to have this now be on stage is very special.
What time are you talking about specifically, Yomi?
So, I'm talking about just the latter part of 2019. In as a family, and what we went through in the passing of my grandaunt, and just the support that I felt at that period, and also support in a sense of people not necessarily knowing what to say to me, but just being physically around, in terms of just knowing that, just to let you know that, and also to let my cousin know, especially my cousin, just to let him know that people are around and people are there to support, if need be.
You are known as a writer, teacher, facilitator, author. Um, you're in that space that is quite artistic, quite expressive. Have you always been that type of person?
I wasn't always expressive. I always wrote. Like, I think there was a more introverted side to me that was always writing, because I just didn't know, one, how to speak for myself, how to speak aloud, how to kind of say things without being reprimanded for saying it. And this goes traditionally from like speaking to elders if I felt like I was hard done by, to speaking to a teacher, when I'm like 11 or 11 years old. And the conditioning over time is almost to be like, you just don't speak up to these people, for example, to like a specific type of establishment, because you just be written off. And I think it's interesting how that's kind of carried on over time to me, even now walking into a space, to the book, to what speaking to, in terms of mannerism, in terms of adaptation, of when you walk into a space and you're kind of in this institution, be it a white institution, how micro I could feel in a space that's kind of bigger. So I haven't been as expressive, and in thinking it back, I'm trying to wonder why that expression hasn't necessarily been there. And in writing this book, exploring things in this play, that's given license and permission to kind of interrogate that a bit more, to break some of that, to unlearn it, so to speak.
Obviously, you're Nigerian British,
Mm.
and I'm guessing the whole output is going to be tinged by that experience. I wonder then, working with Miranda Cromwell, who directed it, and it features David Jonsson. Let's talk about that synergy and bringing across the cultural nuances
Mm.
that they'd need to kind of connect with in order to deliver this in an authentic way.
It's been, oh my gosh, it's been beautiful. Like, can't forget Femi, can't forget Ewa. um and collectively it's been like this cultural mesh, especially with Femi Temowo, on just working with music, right? And there was one time that we was going through a really serious scene, and Femi was just like, yo, like, does your does Big Mommy, does anyone in the family today, are there any kind of known songs, gospel, like? And I'm like, there's only one, and every Nigerian knows the one is a miracle working. And then as soon as we broke into that, Femi just got on the keys and he started playing it. And then, as if by like absolute nuance, Ella was just like, and you see when you do that clap, we just know what that clap is. And it was just amazing for Miranda, for the most part, who was kind of outside of that kind of cultural landscape, quickly got into it. David got into it. I got into it. Femi mic'd everything up and we recorded it. Next thing you know, Miranda's dancing. I'm dancing. Everybody's dancing in the space. But then when we go through the scene in itself, the dancing stopped. The crying started. And that is what that time provided. It gave space for laughter and joy. But then when you broke it into the cultural nuances, that's what happened. And even after that scene, we started talking to each other. It was just like, how are you? You know, what did that do for you? How was that for you? And I can't begin to explain the importance of having those nuances, writers, directors, musicians of color in a space to talk about these experiences and what that opened the floor for us to do. It surpassed the text. This now went straight into spirit. This now went straight into us just talking about life generally amongst each other in terms of how it was for us.
How's the year been? You know what I mean? Has the period of adjustment been for you? It's been ups, downs, and all over the place for everybody else. How have you coped, both mentally and professionally?
Mentally, I've just been in my own bubble, like being with the family. Professionally, it's busy. It's so busy. And I think it's busy, and if I'm to be perfectly honest with you, it's busy in a way of me almost making an excuse to not breathe or not take time. So it's almost like I'm replacing it with stuff to do, because it's almost like stillness was a very scary concept and something to think about. And I'm thinking, all right, so at any points of stillness means I have to now start thinking about everything. And that is a very heavy thought, because normally I'm moving about, I'm going to a gig, I'm here doing this, I'm here doing that. And by the time I get home, I'm sleeping, or I'm just resting. I have no time to really, really think. So if you're telling me that I'm waking up first thing in the morning and I don't have to get out and get on a TFL and start cussing, I have to stay in and think, that was a big ask. So it took me a minute to actually get through the thoughts of just processing that, and then actually just being like, whatever comes with this, just let it just seep into me. Let me make sense of what's happening right now. So for me, it's been very up and down, and I would like to think that I'm not alone in that concept of the anxiety of stillness. Is a very big thing. But yeah, that's how it was for me, and how it continues to be.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone at all. I think you're right. We're often preoccupied with a lot of background noise, which helps fill our minds with enough to not really worry about the moment. And being still brings that into stark focus, I think. So yeah, totally get you. You so moving forward then, I guess you're looking to be busy. I guess that's that's a given. Anything you're working on in particular that you're excited about?
It's this book. I think it's continue to work on this book. And just it's I feel for the people that are just like, all right, we got the play, give us the book now, and just like, well, you gotta wait. You just gotta. What about the play text? I'm like, technically, it's not a play text. These are poems. So they're all poems, and with they're all poems, all the poems are gonna be in a book, and you're not getting that book not anytime soon. So you're just gonna have to just keep on the socials. Like honestly, I like to take time. You see me, I'll be hosting some shows here and there through the year, so it's just the modes of just keeping in touch via socials and what have you. But in terms of anything big, I'm not intending to try to do anything big for the if I do, I'll be very surprised. But I genuinely like to really, really take time until there is a need for it. I don't want to rush things. And I feel like the next thing that I want to embark on with all my focus and energy and love is this book. Yeah.
How did you feel when you were shortlisted for the Brunel International African Poetry Prize?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I was gassed, yo.
Of
I was,
course.
I was, I was. Because you know what's interesting, Joe? This was interesting. I applied in 2017. Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't, I wasn't shortlisted. I don't know if I was longlisted, but I just, in a very polite manner, I just didn't, like, it just didn't happen. Just what I mean. Um, so, and there's always this is the thing, there's always doubt when the opportunity comes again. You're like, boy, I don't like to go for embarrassment twice, you know, like it's just that kind of situation. But then it's almost like fighting the fear. And almost why I thought it was because I'm in a way better place as a writer now. I feel it. I'm in a way better place. There's been so much that I've learned over time. So when I applied comfortably, not knowing what I'll get back, but I applied knowing, yo, these poems are strong, right? These poems are strong. I feel like I'm in a better place. Let's see how it goes. So when I received that email, I was like, yeah, wicked. I didn't get it, but to go from a point of not even being considered in that sense in 2017 to getting to this point was a beautiful thing for me. In terms of just journey, in terms of a message, in terms of pushing through, in terms of second chances, not giving up. All of those things work with me all the time, you know. So I was very excited. I was thankful because Brunel International African Poetry Prize it's a key one for me, you know,
Mm.
and just to be acknowledged in that way is a beautiful thing. So I really appreciate the judging panel, appreciate the team involved, and also to the other shortlisters, and of course the winner.
Got a feeling it'll be yours one day, Yomi. I really do,
I
mate.
don't
Yeah.
I don't know how much he's got left in it. Do you know what I mean? But one, let's just hope for it. And plus, I think after you release a full body of work, I don't know if you can apply for it, but I'm not sure. Hopefully, let's see what happens. Fingers crossed, you know.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Manorism
Yeah,
out next year. All
next year,
right.
next year.
I've got a semi date here, but I won't call that out. I won't do that to you just in case some moment of brilliance comes right at the end. But yeah, good luck with that and everything else you touch, man. It seems like you're very much in the infancy of your walk towards whatever greatness you're destined to experience. So man, so good luck.
I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. And love for like voice as well. This is one of the milestones. This is, you know, it's a newspaper that I grew up just seeing. I'm thinking one day, like, you know, will I be in there? Will my face be in there? Will my work be in there? All of these milestones I'm meeting in my career, and it's a pleasure to tick that off. It's not something that I'm seeing now. This is something that has been a representation that I've seen over the years. And to just be in this milestone, to have this moment, this is 14-year-old, 16-year-old me talking to say that, yeah, this, yeah, I appreciate this, you know? Yeah. Thank you.